What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. video discussing the latest episode, breaking down where it will go next and some of the interesting Easter eggs that cropped up in the episode. Please do drop a like if you enjoy the video and subscribe with notifications on if you want more and to never miss a video. But with that out of the way, let's jump into, well, the video. We open with a young couple at Area 51's version of Makeout Point trying to see a UFO. As he mentioned, he saw one before, which I'd presume is the first spaceship that the Chromicons arrived in, and they also see another one when the girl was just trying to get the D, and that ship is containing our crew, which is the Zephyr 1. We are now in the 50s and the Chromicons are after the Project Helios machine, and the Predictor warns them to be careful with time as it can easily be changed. I do find it jarring that there is now 2 time heists in the MCU, but I guess we just need to go with it at this stage. Project Helios doesn't have too much basis within the MCU, or even references to the comics, but there are 2 in there as well. Very tenuous links here, as Helios is the Eternal who is the father of Cersei, who will of course be in the Eternals movie. It's very curious as there is an Eternals movie coming out, like I said, and the MCU trailer for Eternals will be dropping, or rumoured to drop, on July 22nd at the Comic-Con at Home event. But I do think that this is just a happen chance connection, and Project Helios does turn out to be pretty much worthless in the show, but Deke mentions it can be used as a ship-to-ship killer in his timeline, and I do think they were aiming to be used by the Chromicons to take down the Zephyr, but destroying this like a bomb is odd, as Project Helios had no consequence on S.H.I.E.L.D. history, so it just seems weird that they're going after it, if at all. The team need to break into the S.H.I.E.L.D. facility of Area 51, which is a given, as Coulson says all the areas are S.H.I.E.L.D. bases, which is Area 51, so there are a lot of areas there, and we get a very cool homage to Daisy's original pre-S.H.I.E.L.D. days as part of the Rising Tide. It's easy to forget she was a hardcore hacker, as she is so ingrained in the team, and she was the Anonymous of the MCU there. Now, a DoD high-up named Sharp is brought into for interrogation, but it seems that majorly superfluous, as really they could have just got all the information they had from him from the base itself. But it did provide laughs, but it did seem like bad timing to include like a racist kind of storyline here, and Deke to just use his white privilege to interrogate someone. Yeah, that seems a bit on the nose, but they do manage to get some information that Helios Connor actually fly, which would have been really in all of the files that they read, so I'm not really sure why they even actually took him for interrogation in the first place. But I did like how Simmons had to pose as Agent Peggy Carter, which was a fun little jaunt, as I would imagine that she was actually a big fan of Peggy, and we got some of the funniest scenes to ever happen in the MCU. Simmons and Coulson are looking for a Chromicon on a base full of scientists who are presumably antisocial, and they have to use the word moist and have to insult John Wayne there to actually get them to admit that they're realise that they are actually scientists. Yeah, really weird. This interrogation is majorly hindered as we find out that Agent Sousa, the ex-partner of Peggy Carter in the SSR, is to return into the base. Now, there was an idea, no, not of the Avengers, but that Peggy and Sousa did end up together after season 2 of Agent Carter. But as of Endgame, we know Peggy and Steve ended up together, so it's quite sad poor Sousa didn't convince her to swap the Star Shield for a chrome knee brace, like his colleague said in the show. Deke and Daisy discuss killing Freddy, which was so out of character for her, and she just does not seem to understand that killing Freddy, as evil as he turns out to be, would ruin the entire timeline, meaning S.H.I.E.L.D. never actually was made. She seems a bit off this season, which is really weird, but not as much as Agent May, but more on that later. So with the return of Sousa to the MCU, I find it weird that Coulson, the ultimate S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, had no idea Sousa would be on the base, or even that he had an office on the base. One major thing is how Daisy infiltrates the base as a CIA agent when Simmons and Coulson get captured, and Sousa seems to know that there are sleeper agents within S.H.I.E.L.D., which is obviously alluding to the major reveal that Hydra had ruined or infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. in the Winter Soldier, and I do hope this gets explored a bit more, as I love the explanation from Zola in the movie, and the S.H.I.E.L.D. Hydra storylines didn't really live up to what I really wanted when we were knowing that S.H.I.E.L.D. had been infiltrated by Hydra, and we had so many decades of, well, S.H.I.E.L.D. being corrupted, and that what they've done so far it kind of is null and void. We have May and Yo-Yo go in as test pilots, and I was getting major serious Captain Marvel vibes here from the two, but their idea of gassing people went south as they both totally pranged out and both are suffering major PTSD. May has seemed weird throughout the entire episode, and I still think she is involved with Izel or possessed in some way, as we said in the previous videos for this season, and it's just odd there. Something is going to come to a head with that, as she doesn't seem to react to anything apart from gas. Yeah. So we move into the major action part of the episode as the Chromicon aims to blow up the ion device as May and Yo-Yo go to take her down, which, well, that works well for them, but I guess that, well, I'm a tad confused as to how this was actually supposed to really mess with S.H.I.E.L.D. None of it really messed with S.H.I.E.L.D. whatsoever, and it kind of seemed a bit of a non-episode, or at least the MacGuffin of this seemed a bit pointless. The Chromicon disintegrates so as to not leave tech throughout history, as we learned from the predictor. Thanks to the EMP device, we actually got a major upgrade for that, and it's more than just the 30 feet. So, well, we've got to take a fat L on the Simmons theory of being an LMD, as really with everything around, only the Chromicon and the LMD Coulson actually went down. So she's not an LMD. She may have super EMP protection, but no, she isn't an LMD, I think, which was a real shame, as I thought it was a proper neat theory. My criticism for this episode was how it ended abruptly, but I did like the racist DOD guy Sharp being turned mad by Mac and Deke, convincing him that they are an alien ship, and, well, I did miss those two bromats there, so I do like them returning. Now the question is, has Coulson died? Personally, I think he did wake up and go into a dream, as next week we get a noir episode, and while I'm not a fan of themed episodes at all in TV shows except from on Community, Black and White World is curious nonetheless, as this would make me think of a 30s era episode, and that we are getting a murder mystery as Sosa returns again. Sosa was, or at least in the trailer, says that Sosa was killed by Hydra as he was going to expose them, but we know that if they save him, they have no idea how history will be changed, considering that he is the first fallen agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is a big thing and a major change. However, Coulson does say that in the history books, it is not actually written as to what actually happened. So they have some room there. Maybe they actually allow him to live and be in hiding, and the Chromicons think that they have won, or maybe they turn him into an LMD, as LMDs seem to be the absolute rage this season. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. However, that is it for this video, so please do drop a like, please do subscribe, and I'll see you soon, and goodbye.